Have you ever pondered the occurrence of moments, often in unlikely settings, when the sacred reveals itself in such an extraordinary way that it leads us to reconsider our most deeply held convictions? This story invites us to cultivate an openness of heart and mind to the unknown and to rekindle our faith. First, if there is someone special in your heart who needs divine intercession at this moment, please mention their name and family connection in the comments. All will be included in our main prayer with the Rosary, imploring light and grace. In the serene parish of São Joaquim, a Sunday of praise unfolded as usual, immersed in the comforting familiarity of prayers and hymns, where the scent of incense wafted and the morning light filtered through the multicolored stained glass windows, painting vibrant patterns on the stone floor. The ceremony proceeded with dignity, and the Reverend, his voice choked with profound conviction, led those present to the heart of the liturgy, the point at which the congregation united around the Eucharist, the Holy Supper, the fundamental pillar of faith. It was a day that seemed routine, or so it seemed, until the tranquility of this sacred moment was shattered by something that would transform the beliefs of many there, leaving an indelible impression on their minds and hearts. The more than 300 souls occupying the seats in the temple were on the verge of experiencing what would later be evoked as an authentic divine challenge, a profound spiritual awakening that transcended reason and resonated directly within the essence of each person, marking their existence forever. The culmination of the ceremony approached with the adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, a moment of profound reverence and introspection, where everyone's attention and soul turned to the consecrated host exposed in the monstrance. It was precisely at this moment, during the homily, in an almost palpable silence, that a slight tremor, a subtle vibration, began to be perceived by those closest to the altar, especially those directly participating in the liturgy. Suddenly, the focus, previously divided between the celebrant's words and personal contemplations, converged on the center of the altar. The host, so tiny and seemingly immobile, in its resplendent golden reliquary, began to emit a discreet luminosity and, to everyone's astonishment, seemed to palpitate. It was not a trick, nor a light trick. The image grew clearer with each passing second, transforming the initial whisper into a silent, reverent awe that spread like an electric shock throughout the church nave, captivating the gaze of all who witnessed this unprecedented event. The beating of the host, previously almost imperceptible, grew louder, establishing a delicate, uninterrupted cadence, as if, there in the center of the monstrance, a hidden heartbeat. The church, which moments before had resounded with melodies and murmured prayers, was now plunged into an almost tomb-like silence, broken only by whispers of amazement and suppressed exclamations, as each person present assimilated, in their own way, the spectacle before them. The parish priest, at first stupefied, knelt, surrounded by the faithful who, overcome with emotion, some in tears, others with their hands clasped in fervent prayer, pointed to the altar, attempting to express the unspeakable through gestures. For many, the image of the pulsating host was not a mere unusual phenomenon, but irrefutable evidence, a palpable connection between the transcendent and the earthly, a reminder of the divine manifesting and becoming visible in the everyday, revitalizing a faith that, perhaps for some, had lain dormant or searching for a breath of hope. Those who, from a distance, initially doubted the accounts of those in front, strained to observe more closely and could not contain their astonishment upon confirming what had happened. Their skeptical expressions quickly transformed into astonishment and, for many, into tears of pure emotion and gratitude, uniting everyone in a collective and profound experience. The Eucharistic miracle, as it was readily called by those present, did not reveal itself in grand spectacles, but in a silent power, a majestic simplicity that directly challenged the soul. The heartbeat continued for moments that seemed like an eternity, imprinting an indelible mark on everyone's memory. Each heartbeat, however simple, seemed to ratify faith in its most genuine and enigmatic expression, rekindling belief in the power of divine love and the contingency of the extraordinary. After a few moments that suspended the linearity of time in the parish of São Joaquim, the pulse of the host gradually diminished until it stopped completely, leaving not a vacuum, but a room saturated with a silent energy, filled with emotion, profound respect, and a new clarity of purpose. The gazes that had previously been fixed on the sacrament now met, reflecting the same perplexity mixed with an intense sense of honor at having witnessed such magnificence. People began to leave the church not only with the prayers said that day, but with a narration, a story that would be passed down orally, crossing generations and serving as inspiration for others. What happened in São Joaquim established itself as a watershed moment for that community, a resounding validation that faith can manifest itself in unusual and profoundly transformative ways, nourishing the soul and spirit far beyond the boundaries of logical understanding, etching a lasting memory in the hearts and minds of all participants. The repercussions of this event persisted throughout the community for a long time, affecting not only those present but also those who heard the accounts with admiration and intrigue. The chronicle of the day the host manifested itself with heartbeats in the parish of São Joaquim became living proof of the inextinguishable affection and the ability of the sacred to communicate with us through signs that transcend rationality, but which ignite a flame of hope within us. Many interpreted this prodigy as a direct warning from the transcendent to a world that often seems to neglect its spiritual dimension, a call to revive faith and commit to the spiritual journey. It is a narrative that, in a genuine and moving way, reiterates to us the immanence of divine love and power, motivating us to keep our gaze and spirit attentive to the revelations that spirituality has in store for us, and to cherish each opportunity to deepen our connection with the immeasurable. Meditating on the events in that parish community is like a mirror reflecting our own existence and journey of faith, where we are encouraged to discern signs of love and expectation in the daily panorama, even if they do not present themselves with the clarity of a pulsating host. Just as the members of São Joaquim perceived that event as a harbinger of the divine, we are equally compelled to cultivate unshakable belief, to grant forgiveness from the heart, to achieve inner serenity, and to yearn, unceasingly, for the transformation of souls and hearts in need of this higher acceptance. Contemporary times, with their complexities and incessant turmoil, often distract us from the relevance of daily prayer, the search for truth, and the practice of empathy. May the message of that day, imbued with mystery and tenderness, encourage us to strengthen our faith, to prostrate ourselves in prayer, and to function as vehicles of harmony and benevolence on our journey, transforming our lives into a lived proclamation of all that we profess. If there is anyone else close to you who needs intercession, please note their name and relationship in the comments so we can include them in our rosary. Together, we will embrace these supplications in our prayers. The experience of Saint Joaquim, despite its specific context, transcends the limits of a single tradition, inviting each individual, regardless of their religious affiliation, to gaze in wonder at the sacred. It is a poignant reminder that the universe is permeated with unfathomable mysteries and a presence that sometimes chooses to reveal itself in ways that deconstruct our routine, opening cracks to the divine in everyday life. Such an event prompts profound self-reflection on our own openness to the inscrutable, challenging us to recognize that sacredness is not restricted to temples or rituals, but can emerge anywhere, at any time, requiring only a receptive heart to perceive it. In this way, the story of the pulsating host in São Joaquim serves as a beacon for humanity, illuminating the eternal search for meaning and transcendence. More than a mere supernatural event, what we witnessed in São Joaquim challenges us to examine our own disposition toward the extraordinary. How often do we allow routine and pragmatism to stifle our capacity for wonder? The account encourages us to cultivate a more refined attention, a look of faith toward the small daily epiphanies, the beauty of nature, shared love, a moment of profound intuition or consolation. It emphasizes the importance of not relegating the divine solely to great prodigies, but of seeking it and welcoming it in the simplicity and persistence of our spiritual practices, in charity toward others, and in dedication to goodness. It is through this constant vigilance and surrender that we keep the flame of hope alive and our hearts open so that, in our own contexts, the sacred can also manifest and transform us. The story of the Parish of São Joaquim is not just about a witnessed miracle, but about the strength of community faith and the power that comes from uniting in a common purpose. It resonates as a perpetual invitation to strengthen the bonds of fraternity, sharing our hopes and burdens, and interceding for one another. Let us remember that each of us is, in our own way, a temple of the divine and a channel for its manifestation in the world. May the memory of this special day inspire us to be beacons of love and hope, radiating the light of the transcendent in every word and every action. May our lives become a continual testimony to God's presence, motivating others to seek their own connection with the sacred, renewing faith in each heart, and guiding them toward a spiritual awakening that reverberates throughout eternity. What is your interpretation of such manifestations where the transcendent reveals itself in ways that defy our understanding? We ask that you share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective is of paramount importance to us and to the strengthening of our community. If this narrative touched your soul or rekindled your conviction, remember to click like on the video, share it with your contacts, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future explorations of stories. Together, we will continue to uncover the secrets and inspirations that strengthen and guide us on the path of spirituality.